Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. We have more gaming and PlayStation news, rumours and leaks to go over, and a reminder that the PlayStation podcast returns this Sunday at 7 PM UK time. So it's been a while since Sony dropped a real big AAA blockbuster exclusive, but that just changed. Sucker Punch Productions, the studio behind the brilliant Ghost of Tsushima, is back, and back with a bang. Their newest game, Ghost of Yotei, has stormed the charts. According to reports from the game business, the samurai epic debuted in second place in total sales on the European charts, just behind EA Sports FC 26, which has held on to that #1 spot for several weeks. However, Yotei beat EA Sports FC on physical sales, another fantastic achievement. What's more impressive is that Ghost of Yotei marks Sony's biggest first-party release since Marvel's Spider-Man 2, which came out 2 years ago, and that's a major win for PlayStation. In its launch period, the game reportedly sold around 1.6 million copies on the PlayStation 5 platform. That's almost identical to how Ghost of Tsushima performed way back in 2020, and let's not forget, back in 2020, that release happened during a global lockdown where everyone really was stuck at home playing games. So it's an even more incredible achievement from Ghost of Yotei, selling around about the same number of copies as Ghost of Tsushima. So what makes Ghost of Yotei so special? It's not just the sales, it's the absolute confidence. Sucker Punch's co-founder mentioned in an interview that the studio plans to stay focused on one project at a time moving forward. They're clearly putting all of their energy into making their next world as immersive as possible. It's rare these days to see a developer take that route to slow down, polish their craft and focus on quality over quantity. It makes you wonder, right? Are we seeing a return to games that are built to last and not just to sell? Great news about Ghost of Yotei tracking similar numbers to Ghost of Tsushima. The game really does deserve all of its success. Wonderful, wonderful achievement. And speaking of great games, there's a legendary name from Xbox's past that might be crossing over into PlayStation territory for the very first time. The legendary Halo might be coming to PlayStation. And it's not the first time we've heard these reports and leaks about Halo. According to the most recent leaks circulating online, the iconic Halo Combat Evolved, the game that put Xbox literally on the map back in 2001, is getting a full remake, and this time it's very likely coming to PlayStation 5. That's a massive deal if it does turn out to be true. Think about it, Halo has always been the Xbox game, the flagship series that defined Microsoft's console identity for over 20 years. The rumor comes from a reliable leaker known as Halo Leaks on X, who claims this remake won't just be a simple visual update. It'll feature modern gameplay mechanics, sprinting, sliding, aiming down sights, things that were not even part of the original game design way back when Halo first released. Some longtime fans might not be happy about that. After all, Halo's slower pace and tactical gunplay are part of what makes it a unique game. But times have changed. Most shooters today are faster, they're more fluid, and built for a new generation of players who grew up on Call of Duty and Apex Legends. So the big question is, will this remake honor the legacy of the original, or will it reinvent Halo for a new era and a new generation of gamers? And if the rumor is true and Sony really does get Halo on the PlayStation platform, it will be a watershed moment in gaming history. Microsoft has already released Forza Horizon 5 and Gears of War Reloaded onto PlayStation. But Halo, that is sacred ground. That is the last man standing. That's the last game that's holding the line. It's the final straw for many people seeing Halo cross over to PlayStation. It means those red lines that were once in place at Xbox, they're gone forever. Now, while Microsoft is opening its doors to PlayStation gamers, another company is saying goodbye to one of its most respected veterans. And in the world of Assassin's Creed, change is in the air. After almost 20 years with Ubisoft, Mark Alexis Cote, the long-time creative force behind Assassin's Creed franchise, is moving on. Now, I hope I've pronounced that name correctly. Whether it's Cote or Cote, I apologize for butchering it. But Mark Alexis is the creative lead behind the iconic Assassin's Creed franchise. He's now moving on. Ubisoft confirmed his departure in an internal note to staff, thanking him for nearly 2 decades of service. Mark Alexis worked on some of the most iconic titles in the series, co-directing Assassin's Creed 3, leading Syndicate, and helping guide the franchise's future since 2022. But his exit comes at a pivotal time for Ubisoft. They've been going through some major changes lately, including the creation of a new studio called Vantage Studios, part owned by Tencent. This new branch will oversee some of Ubisoft's biggest franchises, including the Assassin's Creed games. Maybe that's why he's left the business. According to Ubisoft, Mark Alexis was offered a leadership position at Vantage, but he turned it down. Instead, he's decided to pursue a new chapter outside of the company. Now, that's a big change for him and for Ubisoft. For years, Mark Alexis has been one of the main visionaries behind the evolution of Assassin's Creed, from historical stealth missions to massive open-world adventures. So where does that leave the series? Ubisoft says it's writing the next chapter, promising experiences that evolve with player feedback and keep the franchise fresh for new generations. But here's something to think about. With the original architect leaving, can a series as iconic as Assassin's Creed still hold on to its original soul? Or do you feel they lost that soul many years ago? And while Ubisoft plans its next move, another massive shooter has already taken the gaming world by storm. Battlefield 6 has officially come out swinging. According to data from Alina Analytics, the latest Battlefield sold an incredible 6.5 million copies in just its first few days. That's over $350 million in revenue across all platforms. To put that into perspective, those numbers are Call of Duty-esque level numbers, something EA's shooters haven't really done in many years. Most of those sales come from PC players on Steam, accounting for nearly 2/3 of total sales. The PlayStation 5 version followed with about 1.5 million copies, and Xbox rounded out the rest. Clearly, players are hungry for large-scale, chaotic warfare again, but early access doesn't always mean long-term victory. We've seen this story before: big launches, record-breaking numbers, and then total silence. The real question is whether EA can keep players engaged and build a lasting platform instead of another short-lived spike. Can Battlefield really reclaim its place as the ultimate modern warfare experience, or will it fade out once the hype dies down? And speaking of legacy, one of gaming's most emotional soundtracks recently became a heartfelt memorial for a music legend. The gaming world lost a legend this week. D'Angelo, the soulful voice behind Unshaken, one of Red Dead Redemption 2's most unforgettable songs, has passed away at the age of 51 after a private battle with cancer. For many players, his songs wasn't just background music. It was the moment, that quiet, emotional ride back to camp as Arthur Morgan reflects on everything he's been through. That scene, paired with D'Angelo's haunting voice, became one of the most powerful moments in modern gaming. Before his work with Rockstar, D'Angelo was already a pioneer of neo-soul. His albums Brown Sugar, Voodoo, and Black Messiah earned him critical acclaim. But it was Unshaken that introduced his artistry to a whole new audience of gamers. What many people don't know is that D'Angelo was actually a huge fan of the original Red Dead Redemption game. He even reached out to Rockstar while Red Dead Redemption 2 was still in development. The team invited him to playtest the game, and that's where their collaboration began. After his passing, tributes poured in from both the music world and the gaming community. Rockstar themselves shared a heartfelt message, and fans across social media have been replaying Unshaken, sharing memories of how that moment made them feel. It's a reminder that video games are not just about mechanics and graphics, they're about emotion, real emotion and connection, and sometimes a single song can turn a great game into an unforgettable experience and story. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and as always, I will catch you on the next video.